Good morning. Good morning, students.
Morning, ma'am.
Okay, let's start the class. My screen is visible. Hello.
Visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I am audible properly. Am I audible properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, last day we discussed about short transmission line and medium transmission lines. How much did I teach you? Did I complete all the three types of transmission lines? That means end condenser, nominal T, nominal pi method.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the whole PDF that I sent you, the whole thing was discussed in the last class. All the problems up to the end. Do you remember? These problems, I think I've all discussed all the problems, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
These things, end condenser method and all these things, I think I've completed that short and medium transmission line.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you find, are you studying? If you find any difficulty, then you must ask me. Okay. Otherwise, at the end of the semester, you won't be able to grasp the whole thing. That means the whole syllabus. Okay. And it is a very fundamental subject in power system. Now, today I will start the long transmission line. Okay. If you are not, I am not audible properly, please raise your voice. Now, long transmission lines. I know that this is not very much clear. This is hazy, but I don't think there will be any problem. Now, long transmission line, what I told you that it is classified on the basis of the lines are classified on the basis of the length. Okay, length of the transmission line. So, more or less above say 240 or 250, I consider long transmission line, but it is not very stringent. Even above 100 kilometer, we can treat the line as long transmission line. Okay, so here if it is written that short transmission lines less than 160 kilometer in length have been considered where the parameters are assumed to be lumped. It has been found that lumped means concentrated. You have seen that while discussing the short and medium transmission lines, you have seen we have considered concentrated or lumped parameter. And it has been observed that for lines approximately up to 160 kilometer, if we consider lumped or considered parameter instead of distributed parameter, then there is very negligible error. Okay. But above this length, if we consider lumped parameter, then error is substantial. So we must treat the long transmission lines, treat the parameters of long transmission lines as distributed parameters. Okay, actually, you can understand resistance, inductance, capacitance, all are distributed throughout the length of the line. But for simplicity, we assume them to be concentrated for up to some distance. Now, long transmission lines like medium transmission lines, here all the three parameters, resistance, inductance and capacitance, all three parameters are considered. But unlike medium transmission line, we treat the transmission, the parameters are distributed parameters. That means they are distributed throughout the length of the line. So how do we analyze them? See, we here you can understand that this is the sending end and this is the receiving end. Okay, so this resistance and inductance, as they're distributed throughout the whole length of the line, we consider very small length of the line of delta x length at a distance x from the receiving end. So note that the length is considered, the distance is considered from the receiving end. Okay, not from the sending end. So let us consider very small length of the line delta x. So what will happen before this strip and after this? Okay, so before this one, then if the current is I plus delta I, after this the current will be I. Why? Because delta I current will be flowing through the capacitance. You know capacitance is connected in parallel, though it is not shown. R, L and C, nothing is shown, but you know it is connected in parallel. So delta I will be flowing through the parallel line. Okay. Now, and what is delta V? Delta V is the voltage drop along this length of the line. That means R plus XL. Okay. There is some voltage drop in the series component. So if the voltage here is V plus delta V, voltage here will be V only. So hope you have understood this diagram. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, see here all the parameters are given, but we consider all the parameters in per unit length. So small z is the series impedance per unit length, small y is the shunt admittance per unit length, small l is the length of the line. And so what is the total series impedance? It is small z into capital L. L is considered as the length of the line. So here and here, shunt admittance, these are already shown here. Okay. So total, the capital letters, they are considered for total, and small z are considered, small z, small y, they are considered for per unit length. Now here it is shown, though we neglect this shunt admittance and so we consider only C here. Okay. So we can write that delta V equal to Iz into delta X. That means the voltage drop in the small length of the line, it will be I into delta. Now you can tell that why I should consider I will not consider I plus delta I, because this we neglect. That means we consider delta I to be very small. So we can write that this delta V equal to Iz into delta X, because Z into delta X is the voltage drop in that small length of the line, elemental length we call, elemental length, and this delta is V into that admittance along that in that elemental length. Again here we have considered V. You can tell that why don't we consider V plus delta V? Again the logic is same, delta V is very small, so you have considered delta V. Okay, so these are the starting equations. Delta V, the voltage drop in the elemental length, is I into Z into delta X, and delta I is the current flowing through the shunt admittance only, because delta I, this current I plus delta I is entering, I is leaving, so delta I must be flowing through this one. We neglect the shunt admittance, so we consider this one. So now as delta X is very small, you can first you just delta V by delta I, it will become only delta V by delta X equal to Iz, and that delta I by delta X equal to Vy. Okay, so as delta V, delta X, delta I are very small, we can write that delta V by delta X as dV dx, and this delta I by delta X as di dx. Okay, so this is Iz, this is Vy. Now dV dx we just differentiate again with respect to x. So d2v dx2, that will be z into di dx, because z and y, they are constants. They are considered as parameters per unit length. So d2v dx2 will be z into di dx. Now from here you can substitute di dx as vy. Okay, so we can get d2v dx2 as zy into v. Understood up to this? Any problem?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we can write d2v dx. Now we find out that this is the solution is given like this. Okay, solution in the whole derivation is not shown. You can go through your maths book and you can find out the derivation, that the solution of this The second order differential equation is this one. Okay. So V will be equal to A to the power root over yx, yz into x, because x is the variable, and my plus b into e to the power minus root yz into x. Okay, this solution you find out from your try to solve and take the help of your any maths book. Okay. Now a and b are constants, so we need to find out the values for a and b. These are the constants. Okay, and remember that x is the distance from the receiving end. So from this equation, we can for finding out a and b, we can consider that when x equal to 0, what is the value for b? When
Receiving end voltage.
receiving end.
VR.
Yes. When x equal to 0, v equal to vr, and when x equal to l, total length, then v equal to
VS.
yes.
VS.
So you can write down that v equal to at x equal to 0, v equal to vr, at x equal to l, v equal to vs. Now, so at okay, now they before doing that, they have just named these terms root over yz. They have considered as gamma. Okay, and one term, because this will come later on, zc they have considered root over z by y. For the time being, you consider zc equal to z by y. I will tell you this, or it is written here, zc is known as characteristic impedance, and this gamma is known as propagation constant. Why these names are given, that you will understand just after some slides. Now, this is, so we can write this equation as v equal to a into e to the power gamma x plus b into e to the power minus gamma x. Okay, this you can understand. Similarly, what will be I? If we know what is v, then I will be, see the expression for I. What will be the expression for I? Because I, you know, see here, di dx equal to vy. Okay, and
VYX.
yes, and here you can understand that delta equal to vy into delta x. Okay, so you can write that, yes, differentiating this one, you will get e to the power gamma x minus beta e to the power b into e to the power minus gamma x, and one term you will get here root over y by z. Okay, so replace that y by z by this zc. Okay, you can understand that I, what is I? I actually 1 by small z into dv dx. Okay, the equation you have got from here, but
Yes,
what
ma'am.
about I? I equal to 1 by small z dv dx. So you have to differentiate this one and divide it by 1 by z. Okay, now while differentiating this one term you will get root over yz outside, and if you divide it by z, then what is the term remaining? In the numerator, if you have root yz, in the denominator you have only z. Okay, so term remaining will be root over y by z, and so this term is replaced as, here actually you will get root over y by z, and this term has been replaced by zc, 1 by zc. Now understood how from v we have got the expression for I? Any question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Understood.
You try to find, take one pen and paper, and you'll find it will be like this. Okay. Now, so V and I, equation for V and I you have got in terms of gamma and ZC. Now our next task is to find out the values for A and B, and just as I told you, at x equal to 0, V equal to VR and I equal to IR, the receiving end quantities. And at x equal to, so just substitute here 0, you will get V equal to A plus B, or V will be VR, VR equal to A plus B, and here you substitute x equal to 0, you will get IR equal to 1 by ZC A minus B. So these two equations you will get. Okay. A plus B and A minus B. So as soon as you get A plus B and A minus B in terms of VR and IR, you can find out A and B in terms of VR and IR. Remember, Normally, in case of transmission lines, our receiving end quantity is unknown because you know the receiving end voltage. You know what is the load connected at the receiving end. If you know the voltage and the load, you can easily find out what is the current. So VR and IR are known terms. So A and B, these constants have been found out in terms of VR and IR. Okay. So now we write V and I, substituting the values for A and B. So if you write, you will get these two equations. These are the final equations, okay, of V and I. What are these equations? These are the equations for the voltage and current at any point in the transmission line at any distance x in the transmission line, where x is considered as the distance from the receiving end. Okay, because you know the voltage and current in the transmission line is always changing as you go from the sending end to the receiving end. This is always changing, isn't it? Because the R, L, and C are all there, so it is continuously changing. So we need to find out the expression for the, if suppose we want to read this is a 300 kilometer line, we want to find out the current and voltage at 100 kilometer from the receiving end. Okay, then you can substitute just x equal to 100 and find out the voltage and current at any point, which is at a point which is at a distance of 100 from the receiving end. So these are the equations that you need to remember. Clear? Now see, for V and I both, one term is having e to the power gamma x, the second term is having the term e to the power minus gamma x. Okay, depending up just on the basis of this e to the power gamma x and e to the power minus gamma x, we have termed these two quantities as that I will come. Actually, these are separate quantities. This is one quantity, this is another quantity. One quantity we consider as incident wave, another quantity we consider as reflected wave. Let's see what is written here. Okay, that what I have told you, it is written, I have already told. Now, see, ZC, and first let us see what is ZC. I have told you that ZC is called the characteristic impedance, and we have replaced root over Z by Y as ZC. Now, what is root over Z? Root over Z, you know, Z is equal to R plus Jx. Okay, and this Y, the shunt admittance is generally neglected, so we consider only j omega c. This G is neglected. Okay, so and for long transmission lines also is in most cases R is neglected. Okay, in some cases you will find that value of R is given, so in that case you can consider. Now if we neglect for lossless line, we can consider that ZC equal to, considering this R and G as 0, it is just root over L by C. Okay, you can write it as small l or small c, it's all the same, because this is, if you multiply it by small distance, it will remain same because it is the ratio. So ZC is coming as root over L by C. Okay, now see this, for lossless line, this ZC is root over L by C, and it is a pure resistance and is known as surge impedance of the line. Now for a lossless line, there is only L and C. That surge impedance, again I will discuss in details in the next class. Okay, maybe before that discussion, you won't be able to get the full concept of the surge impedance. Okay, wait for the next class. But let's see what is given here. When dealing with high frequencies of surges, normally the losses are neglected and therefore characteristic impedance becomes the surge impedance. Actually, ZC is known as the characteristics impedance, and characteristic actual formula is this one. But for lossless line, we consider it to be root over Z by C, and it is termed as surge impedance. So surge impedance loading of a line is the power transmitted when the line is terminated through a resistor. Okay, we'll discuss this one in the next class. It will be better for you to understand. No point discussing these things. You remind me in the next class. I will again come back to this slide. Okay, while discussing the surge impedance. For the time being, you just know that this is known as characteristic impedance, and characteristic impedance is a surge impedance when line is considered to be lossless. Okay, these things will again come back, whatever is written here. Now, what about gamma? Gamma, I told you, it is the propagation constant. Now, why gamma is a complex quantity? Because you know, gamma has been gamma equal to root over y by z, isn't it? So, y, even if we neglect g, y will be j omega c. What will be z? Z will be r plus jxl. Okay, so this is a complex term. Even if we neglect r, say we completely consider lossless line. So what will be y? Y will be j omega c. What will be z? It will be j omega l. In that case, what is root over yz? Root over yz will be j omega
It will be the
LC.
root over minus omega LC.
So one j term will be there, isn't it? Because this is y means j omega c and z means j omega l, isn't it? So it will be j omega root LC, I think, isn't it? Y equal to j omega c. It is not
Yes,
1
ma'am.
by.
Yes, ma'am.
So it will be j omega will come outside, and in the root will remain LC, isn't it? So it is a complex term. Okay, if we neglect, no real term will be there if we consider lossless line. But if we consider the R, then both real part alpha, imaginary part beta will be there. Okay. So gamma has two parts. One is alpha, another is beta. Again, in the next class, I will discuss in details what is gamma and what is that surge impedance. Okay. Now, so gamma has two parts, alpha plus j beta. So we can replace gamma as, here you can remember it was written e to the power gamma x, and here it was written e to the power minus gamma x. So we can replace this gamma by alpha plus j beta, and you can write this one like this one like this. Similarly, we can write the I as in terms of alpha and beta. Now see, here the first term, this term, okay, in the expression is called the incident wave as its value increases as x increases, isn't it? This is true for also for this expression. Any expression you can consider. This is also true for this expression. You can find out this V has two parts. One is the incident part. This is called the reflected part. What is the incident part? In the incident part, when x increases, this value increases. In the other part, when x increases, this value decreases. Now, from the you can conceptualize, listen carefully, why this incident and reflected wave is defined. So, our voltage is considered, voltage waveform is considered to be the summation of incident wave and the reflected wave. Incident wave means when we x increases, this value increases. That means as if this voltage, see, the voltage here is minimum, the voltage here is maximum for incident wave. Okay, because as x increases, the incident wave increases. So here the voltage is maximum. So voltage is coming here with diminishing magnitude. That's why it is called incident wave, as if the voltage signal is coming from this sending end and reaching the receiving end with diminishing magnitude. Okay, it decreases, that is as it is going from here to here. You know, for any wave it gets attenuated as it travels. So a voltage waveform or current waveform can be defined from the traveling wave theory. Okay, so this is the fundamental concept. So voltage waveform is considered to be composed of one incident wave and another reflected wave. In incident wave, the incident wave, as it goes from sending end to receiving end, it is getting attenuated and it is diminishing, it is decreasing. But for the reflected wave, what we have seen, as x increases, it decreases. That means as if the voltage wave is reflected back from this end. So if it is reflected wave, what is the originating point of the reflected wave? It is this point, receiving end. So as it will go from here to here, it is getting attenuated. Okay, again I am repeating because maybe if it will be, it will not be problem if you don't understand very thoroughly this part, but in higher semesters this fundamental concept will be very much required, because traveling wave theory, that I will give you some concept of traveling wave theory in this class only. Now what I was discussing, that again I'm repeating the same thing. See, voltage waveform is like this. Why this part we consider as incident wave? Because here we see as x increases, the voltage increases. So the voltage is coming from this end. This is the sending end, this is the receiving end. So as we go from here to here, voltage increases. So that means the incident wave is getting attenuated from the sending end to the receiving end. Okay. And what about this? This is, as x increases, this value decreases. So as this voltage is reflected voltage wave, that it is getting decreased from this side to this side. So actually what is happening, the voltage wave can be considered as, it is the incident wave is going from here to here, then at the receiving end it is getting reflected, and it is good, the reflected wave is going from here to here. Understood? So incident wave, it will be decreasing as it goes from here to here, and reflected wave, it will be decreasing as if it goes from here to here. Understood? Hello? Any voice?
Yes,
Hello,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Can you hear me properly? The weather is very bad, I know.
Yes, ma'am.
Any
Yes,
oth-
ma'am.
Okay. So similarly, this is true for the current wave also. Okay, let's discuss any one wave. So what are written here is very important. The first term in the above expression is called the incident voltage wave, as its value increases as x is increased. Since we are taking receiving end at the reference, and as x increases, the value of voltage increases, that means voltage wave decreases its magnitude as it travels from the sending end towards the receiving end. Okay, or the otherwise, as it travels from the receiving end to the sending end, its value increases, and vice versa, when it from sending end to receiving end, its value decreases. That is why this part of the voltage in the above expression is called incident voltage. For similar reason, the second part is called the reflected voltage. Okay. At any point along the line, the voltage is a sum of these two components, that is sums of incident and the reflected voltages. Okay. So for similar reasons means just the opposite. As x increases, the voltage will increase from the receiving end to the sending end, or vice versa. As x increases, voltage will decrease from the sending end to the receiving end. Okay. Now, the expression for the current will also be same. Now see, this expression is written in different form. That means e to the power gamma x, actually it has been written from here. See, from here, actually coefficients of VR is taken. So what will be, if we take, what is the coefficient of VR? It is IR ZC to the power gamma x by 2 plus, coefficient of VR will be e to the power gamma x by 2 plus e to the power minus gamma x by 2. Isn't it? Coefficient of e to the power, coefficient of VR. And what
Yes,
will be
ma'am.
the coefficient of IR? Yes. Just you arrange this one, coefficient of VR one side, coefficient of IR one side. Okay, so one will have the value e to the power gamma x plus e to the power minus gamma x by 2. Okay, coefficient of VR. So e to the power gamma x plus e to the power minus gamma x by 2, and what will be the coefficient of IR? This term will be common, IR into ZC, because you can see this coefficient of IR both have IR ZC. So IR ZC you take common. So what do you have? And outside that is ZC. Okay, that will cancel out later on. So you have e to the power gamma x minus e to the power minus gamma x by 2. Minus minus, it will become plus. Okay, so what voltage, the VR coefficient of VR will have minus sign, coefficient of IR will have plus sign, because this one and this one, two minus signs are becoming plus. So you will be getting these two expression, one this expression, another this expression. Okay. Oh, sorry, IR. mm, One expression, another this expression. It's IR is not, no, I was telling just, I have confused with IR and this. Actually, we are considering this equation. Forget about this equation. Let's arrange this equation. So what is the coefficient of VR? It is e to the power gamma x plus e to the power minus gamma x. What is the coefficient of IR? It will be IR ZC e to the power gamma x again plus e to the power minus gamma x by 2. Okay. So these two equations we can write from those equations. Okay. Now see, what is this IRZC into this one? Now this one and this one can also be written in hyperbolic terms. E to the power gamma x plus e to the power minus gamma by 2 is written as cos h into gamma x, and e to the power gamma x minus e to the power minus gamma x by 2, it can be written as sin h gamma x. So sin hyperbolic and cos hyperbolic. So you have to remember these things, okay? And if you have forgotten how the hyperbolic terms are written, you go through your maths book, you will find that cos hyperbolic will be this one, expression will be this one, sin hyperbolic expression is this one. In a very similar way, I can be written, in I also you take the coefficients of V, coefficients of IR, VR and IR, and you will get this term. So this term can also be written as in hyperbolic functions. So this one will be sin hyperbolic, this one will be cos hyperbolic. So in hyperbolic terms, V equal to this one and I equal to this one. Okay. So you have to understand these terms. And so this one will be VR by ZC sin hyperbolic gamma x, and this one ZC will cancel out. So IR cos hyperbolic gamma x. Okay. Now rewriting these equations, rewriting means if we consider x equal to 0, then V equal to VR. If we consider x equal to L, then V equal to Vs. So we can find out, substituting x equal to L, we can find out what is the sending end voltage. So Vs will be VR cos h gamma L, and it will be IR ZC sin hyperbolic gamma L. That will give Vs simply by substituting x equal to L, you can get Vs. So you can understand, if we remember these hyperbolic terms, it is easier to find out the sending end voltage and also the sending end current, because if you substitute x equal to L, then you can directly find out what is I. I is equal to Is, you can find out the sending end current. Okay, so similarly, sending end current can also be found out by substituting x equal to L. Now, I think did I discuss ABCD constants? I don't think I have discussed ABCD.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, ABCD constants, let's discuss the ABCD constants, then I will come back to this slide. Okay. But because that actually ABCD constants are nothing. The term associated, the coefficient of VR is considered as A, coefficient of IR is considered as B. So let's discuss first what are ABCD constants, then I will come back. Now see ABCD constants. ABCD constants in two-port network, you have already studied ABCD constants. These are called the generalized constants. Okay. So these can be found out. Now see generalized constants. So we consider these are transmission line network with constants ABCD. Sometimes in a transmission line, R, L, C, these values are not given. the ABCD constants of a transmission network are given. So you have to, in that case, you have to use ABCD constants to find out these values. Okay. Now, what are the generalized constants? These ABCD constants. So here we consider the sending end. Here we consider the receiving end. So sometimes you may be confused that why we are writing plus BIR. In some cases, you must have read that it is minus, but in that case, you have considered I to be entering from both sides. But here we consider IS is entering, IR is leaving. So we consider here plus. So in any two-port network, you know, this is the other general equations. VS can be written as AVR plus BIR. IS can be written as CVR plus DIR. Isn't it? Hello? Hello? What happened? Hello, can you listen me? Can you hear me? What happened?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Where are others? Or are sleeping or taking breakfast? Any other voice other than Devarko?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So please listen to it, okay? It is very important. So I think this is known to you. Now, how to determine these ABCD constants? The logic is same. When, no, the logic is not same. This is we have not discussed. Now, when IR is 0, that means receiving end is open. You can understand when the receiving end is open, then there will be no IR current at the receiving end. So this equation transforms into Vs equal to AVR because IR is 0, and this equation transforms into IS equal to CVR, this part equal to 0. So when the receiving end is open, then you can understand that Vs equal to AVR, Is equal to CVR. Okay. So what you get? A equal to Vs by VR and C equal to Is by VR when the receiving end is open. So A equal to Vs by VR when IR equals to 0, C equal to Is by VR when IR equal to 0. Okay, so how you can measure A and C? Keep the receiving end open and consider Vs, measure Vs, VR, Is. You will find out A and C. That will come again for how it is measured, because you see these are all vector quantities, complex quantities. So it is not like that you take the magnitude, divide them and you will get the value of A. Okay. The process is like this. We again will come back. We'll see how it is actually measured, because you have an experiment maybe in this semester or in the next semester on this. Now, similarly, when this side is shorted, then VR equal to 0. So this equation is becoming Vs equal to BIR, Is equal to DIR. Okay. So what will be B? Vs by IR, and what will be D? Is by IR. Okay. Who is coming now? Ujjwal Mondol. After 1 hour, almost 1 hour, Ujjwal is entering. Anyway. So when IR, so these equations you can understand. Okay. How to get ABCD. So these are the ABCD parameters. Now from these equations, can you tell me what are the units of ABCD? What is the unit of A? It is Vs by VR. So what will be the unit?
Unitless.
Unitless.
So both are volts. What is the unit of C?
Ampere into volt inverse.
So it becomes mho, just inverse of ohm, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And unit for B is again ohms.
Resistance
By
unit.
I. And B
Yes, ma'am. Ohm.
is units. Yes.
Unitless D.
unitless. So you can understand. So now, before going to the long transmission lines, let us complete the. Let us discuss what are the ABCD constants for short and medium transmission lines. Then we'll again come back to the long transmission lines. Okay. See, this equation you should remember: Vs equal to AVR plus BIR, Is equal to CVR plus DIR. Now let us see what is what is written. Let us go through this one first. So these things we have already discussed. This equation, the same equation is written here. Now we are getting, if we know VR and IR, we can get a VS and IS. In some cases, it may be required to find out VR and IR when VS and IS are known. Okay, suppose in a transmission line, you are given ABCD constants and you are given sending and voltage and current. Then you need to find out that VR and IR. So simply from these two equations only, we can find out the expression for VR in terms of VS and IS and expression of IR in terms of VS and IS. So just they have written this one, they multiplied it by C and C. In any in any network, this AD minus BC equal to 1. Okay, and A equal to D. Clear? So these equations, you must remember these two. So if you remember these two, from these equations, you can find out the values of VR and IR in terms of VS and IS. This is shown here. Okay, this whole derivation is shown here. You go through it. So ultimately, what you will be getting? You will be getting C. You will be getting IR. See, IR minus equal to minus CVS plus DIS. Okay, and what will be VR? VR you will get DVS minus BIS. Actually, we have found out IR and VR in terms of VS and IS. You can understand it is possible because two equations, two unknowns. These are the equations, and in this equation, VS and IS are considered to be unknown. In the other set of equations, VR and IR are considered to be unknown. Okay, you go through the derivation, you'll be able to understand. Now let us find out the ABCD constants in short transmission line. In short transmission line, you know this shunt capacitance is neglected. So you can add, this is though it is a medium transmission line, but short transmission line is not shown here. It is simply R and X are there, XL. So VS and VR are equal. So we can write for short transmission line, IS and IR are equal. Okay, IS and IR are equal, and what is VS? VS equal to VR plus Z into I. And IS and IR are equal, so we can write VS equal to VR plus ZIR and IS equal to IR. Okay, now if you compare this one with the original equation, what is A? Actually, the original equation is the coefficient of VR is A, coefficient of IR is B. So what is the coefficient?
A will be 1.
Yes, this is 1. Coefficient of IR is Z. So A equal to 1, B equal to Z. Here, coefficient of VR is C, coefficient of IR is D. But no coefficient of VR is there. So C equal to 0, D equal to 1. Understood? Clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Now medium transmission line. This is a medium transmission line. First, the end condenser method. Okay. Now see, in medium transmission line, this is an unsymmetrical network. You can see that it is considered as the receiving end only. So this is not a symmetrical network. While the other two, that is T method and pi method, these are symmetrical networks. Okay, that we discussed in the last class. We have discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
This is pi network. This is symmetrical, you can understand. This is
Yes, ma'am.
this is T network. This is also symmetrical. Okay, but end
Yes,
condenser
ma'am.
method is not symmetrical.
In condenser is the answer.
So now end condenser method, see from this one we can write, see that what is IS? IS equal to IC plus IR. This we have discussed earlier, but here again I am discussing. And what is IC? IC equal to VR into Y. Okay, just replace IR as IC as VR into Y. So IS can be written as YVR plus IR. So you can understand this is C, this is D. So
C is equal to
D,
Y, D1. Yes, ma'am.
D is 1. So what is VS? VS equal to VR, this voltage is VR plus IS into Z, isn't it? So VR plus Z into IS, replace IS. Okay, so write in place of IS as YVR plus IR. So replace this one. So this one will be the equation. So this one will be A, this one will be B. So A is this one, B is this one. Okay. Now for all networks, AD minus BC equal to 1. Okay, you can verify. But for symmetrical networks, only A equal to D. For this is unsymmetrical network, so A is not equal to D. For other cases, you will find A equal to D. Okay, in short transmission lines also it is a symmetrical, so equal to D. Now in other two T and pi network also you will find A equal to D. Though it is not shown here, the figure is not shown, but you can always find out from here. Because I don't want to repeat, you go through the last class notes, you will find. What you will find? You will find this one. This one. Vs equal to this one and plus this one. So what will be A? A is 1 plus yz by 2. What is B? Z into 1 plus yz by 4. Understood? And these equations we discussed in the last class. So directly we have written here
Yes, ma'am.
A equal to this one and B equal to this one. Similarly, C we can write, this is C equal to Y, D equal to this one. So C equal to Y, D equal to this one. Okay. Similarly,
Okay.
for pi, we have also discussed the equations, but if in the semester you are asked to find out the generalized constants for ABCD for medium transmission lines, for any configuration, you need to draw the whole figure. You need to show these values. Then you have to write this is A, this is B, like that. Okay. So for pi transmission line, yes, this is also shown here. So you can understand that this is A, this is B, and this is C, and this is equal to D. Okay, so I'm not going to repeat it. So I've written just A, B, C, and D. So you can find that A equal to D everywhere. Okay. Now, for medium and short transmission lines, no need to consider that propagation constant, hyperbolic functions on all that. And that is required only for long transmission lines. Now, let us come back to the long transmission lines. Now, these things I will again discuss in the next class. Okay. What that means, what will be the generalized constants when two networks are connected in series, when two networks are connected in parallel, that we'll consider in the next class. Or okay, I will consider that one in the next class. Now let us come back to the long transmission lines that we are discussing initially. Now, in the long transmission line, and to know this relation between, suppose you want to find out any value, then you can find out, because e to the power something you can easily find out from your calculator. So you need to know what is cos h gamma x. It is e to the power gamma x plus e to the power minus gamma x. What is sin h gamma x? It is e to the power gamma x minus e to the power minus gamma x. And later on, you will require to know all these relations of hyperbolic functions. Not all relations, but only 3 relations you need to remember, because it is different for normal cosine and sine functions. For hyperbolic function, cos h square x minus sin h square x equal to 1. Okay, unlike cos square x plus sin square x equal to 1. And you have to remember this one, cos hyperbolic 2x. It is sin hyperbolic square x plus cos hyperbolic square x. And sin hyperbolic 2x equal to 2. This is same. Okay, but you need to remember all these things. Okay, it will be required. So I have written it in a page so that you can find out or verify it from any of your maths book. Now these also you need to know, cos h, cos hyperbolic jx. Okay, cos hyperbolic jx will be simply cos x, sin hyperbolic jx will be simply j sin x. Now why this is happening? This is not that I should discuss here. You again go through your maths book, but you need to apply these forms. Okay, and another thing, suppose cos h root yz. Okay, then its expression is this one, binomial expression. And one term often you will find zc sin h gamma root over yx. This is y, not gamma. Yz. This is for the expression for y. You will get this expression. You need to know this one. Okay. So you need to, sometimes you need to know these values. Otherwise, you can always find out in terms of exponential functions. Okay, whatever is convenient to you, you do that. And binomial expression of cos h x, cos hyperbolic x, I hyperbolic x, I have written here. So maybe you may require this, you may not require this. That depends upon you in what method you will use to solve. Okay, but these things actually I found them important for you, so you just go through them. Now again I am coming back to the long transmission lines. Okay. So I stop here. Vs equal to this one, Is equal to this one. Okay. So what will be A gamma L? B equal to Zc sin hyperbolic gamma L. C equal to sin hyperbolic gamma L by Zc. D equal to cos hyperbolic gamma L. Okay. So, and you can verify D minus B is equal to 1, A equal to D. But you have to remember the relations of hyperbolic functions. Then only you will find A D equal minus B is equal to 1. And A equal to D you can easily find out from here. If this is A, this is D. So ABCD are these that I told you. What are ABCD? ABCD are actually this. Okay. And so AD minus B is equal to 1 they have shown. So you need to remember these terms. I think both in terms of, you need to remember ABCD parameters in terms of hyperbolic functions, also in terms of exponential functions. Okay. Because you don't know which function you need to apply. Now I will discuss this problem. Okay, because there are three parts of this problem, 1, 2, and 3. These are again normal pi and t network problem. This I will go discuss in the next class. So let's start. One problem, one typical problem. Now see, a single circuit 50 Hz 3-phase transmission line R, L and C are given. The voltage at the receiving end is 132. Now if the line is open at the receiving end, open means IR equal to 0. Okay, that you should remember. It is open, that means IR equal to 0. You have to find out the incident voltage to neutral at the receiving end. Remember, you find out everything in phase to neutral values. Then if it is asked line values, you multiply by √3. Okay, but every equation is written in terms of phase values. So first you need to find out the incident voltage and the reflected voltage. Okay. And is at the receiving end means x equal to 0. And incident and reflected voltages at 120 km. Next we have to consider x equal to 120 and find out. Now first condition, IR equal to 0 because it is open, and the next condition is that x equal to 0. For first two, this 1 and 2, x equal to 0. Now let us find out what is z. Okay, these are all small r. Actually, it is written capital R because it is given, see, parameters per kilometer. So it is better to write them as small r and small x. Whatever given in the question, you forget it, you write in terms of small r and small l. Okay. Now, so it is 0.2 plus j omega l. Okay. So you find out the impedance per unit length. It will be this one. Never, don't forget to write the unit. Always write ohms. So you can write ohms per kilometer. And shunt admittance also this one per kilometer. Don't forget to write j because it is 190 degree plus 90 degree. If you don't use these j values, you'll get completely wrong answer. Now what is the ZC? You need to find out ZC because in the expression of V and I, you have ZC term. So what is ZC? It is Z by Y. What is Z? This is Z. This is Y. So ultimately what you are getting this one. Okay. And similarly find out gamma. What is gamma? Root over YZ. This is small z, this is small y. You will get this value. Okay. You know, root over of angle alpha, it becomes alpha by 2, isn't it? And alpha squared, it becomes twice alpha. So you find out the value for gamma like this. Okay. Now, though it is receiving end line to neutral voltage, what is the receiving end? Let's go to the equation, original equation. Receiving end line to neutral voltage, this x equal to 0 because receiving end, this is equal to 0 and IR equal to 0. So what is V? V is simply becoming VR by 2. Understood? V is only becoming VR by 2 because x equal to 0, also it is open means IR equal to 0.
Yes, ma'am.
So incident wave is this one and it is becoming VR by 2. Similarly, the reflected wave, what is the difference? Difference is that here it is minus and that will not bother because this part is 0 and reflected wave is also 0. So you can understand that incident and reflected wave are both same because what is incident wave? But you need to write down the full expression. You need to write down in this form. Let me show you which form you need to write for incident and reflected. If you use this formula, you won't be able to understand which one is incident, which one is reflected. You have to show this equation. You have to write this equation. This is the incident, this is the reflected. Okay. And when the receiving end is open, that means IR is becoming 0. The reflected
Incident and reflected will be same.
Yes, incident wave is VR plus IR, VR e to the power gamma x by 2. This is VR e to the power minus gamma x by 2, isn't it? And when x equal to 0, this is VR by 2, this is also VR by 2. So we write down, you have to show carefully, okay? So what is the question? Yes, so both are same. Now the incident voltage at a distance of 120 kilometer. 120 kilometer means this part will be 0, but with VR there is one term, e to the power gamma x, that you need to write, isn't it? You have to write this one because this is not 0. Now x has the value 120. So what is the incident wave? VR by 2 e to the power gamma 120. What is reflected wave? VR by 2 e to the power minus gamma 120. Okay, so here it is found. Yes, this one and this one. Okay, because gamma, I think you have got. What is the value for gamma? Yes, this is the value for gamma. So you will get this one. Okay, at 120 kilometer, this value and this value. One is minus 8.02 degree, one is 8.02 because it is obvious. One is having minus gamma x, another is having plus gamma x. So you solve this problem by your own, otherwise it will be difficult for you to understand. Now what is the next question? Next question is, the line is loaded. The same problem, but now IR is not 0. IR is having some value like this, and also you should not write IR like this. You have to add the angle. What is the angle? Minus 36 point, I think some value. Okay, so you have to write down that angle also, because everywhere you have to use that angle. So now the question is same. Determine. Oh, acha. Now the question here is different. Determine the efficiency of the line. Now, actually, how to find out efficiency? Here you cannot find out I square into R like that, because I told you it is a distributed parameter. So, but the other thing you can always do, you can always find out what is Vs and Is. Okay, what will be Vs? VR you know, IR is given to you, ZC you know, and e to the power gamma x. X is given 120 kilometer. What is x? Which value they have asked to find out? Oh, efficiency means what you need to find out? Receiving in value, output by input. What is output? VR, IR, cos theta. These are all known to you. VR you know, IR you know, because VR 132 into 10 cube by root 3, angle 0. What will be IR? IR will be this one, angle minus 36 degree. Okay, and cos theta is the angle, and that means 0.8. So all the output you know. Now you need to know the input. What is the input? Vs, Is, cos theta is. So simply if you know Vs and Is, then you can find out cos theta, because if the angle between Vs and Is is cos theta. So in that case, you have to again go back to this equation and find out Vs and Is. How to find out Vs? Just substitute x by total
X is equal to L.
total length of the line. If you
Yes,
want,
ma'am.
is from the
120.
receiving end to the sending end. That means total length of the line. So then you will get V equal. You can write V equal to Vs. Here you have to write gamma L e to the power gamma L. Here you have to write e to the power minus gamma L. So can you understand? It is possible to find out Vs, because all terms are known to you, and you have to substitute x by L. Similarly, it is possible to find out Is by substituting x equal to L. Can you understand? You can find out Vs
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Is. And of course, this will be complex quantity. You can find out in terms of both magnitude and angle. And there you solve it by your own. There you will find out that you may be required to use all these terms that I've shown you. Okay, you need to find out which method you will use for the solution. Here, this is very important. So, we're discussing. So, see, they have found out Vs and Is. They have done in different steps, but you can do as you wish. Okay. Ultimately, Vs, they have got this one. Is, they have got this one. So, what is theta is? Theta was S is 3.82 minus of minus 29.9. So, 3.82 plus 29.9. So, 33.72. So, this is the power at the sending end. Now you can easily find out the efficiency. 40 by this one. 40 is given in the problem. The load is 40. Isn't it? Load is 40 megawatt. So you can easily find out the power. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Now another question. Determine the ABCD parameters of the line of the same problem. Now as you have found
Hello,
out
ma'am.
this, yes.
11টা থেকে আমাদের ল্যাব আছে, মানে তো এখন তো যে
আচ্ছা দাঁড়াও, এটা করে
10:45.
এটা করে শেষ করে দিচ্ছি। এটা এক্ষুনি শেষ হয়ে যাবে। এই দুটো অন্য প্রবলেম।
ওকে ম্যাম।
Just I'll take 5 more minutes.
ওকে ম্যাম।
Now see, you have to find out ABCD parameters for the same line. So I already have calculated what is ABCD parameters. See, ABCD parameters A equal to cos H gamma L, B equal to this one. Okay, so we can write down A as cos H gamma L. So you have to find out what is gamma L plus first. So L is known to you. L is the total length of the line. It is 120 kilometer. So this one you can find out gamma L. So what is A? Cos H gamma L, cos H of this one. Okay. So it is just like cos H A plus B. So cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. You need to know these values. The cos hyperbolic A plus B, sin hyperbolic A plus B, all these things. So don't forget, don't write your minus. Okay. This is the formula. It is just like the formula of sin A plus B, isn't it? Not sin A plus B. Anyway, this is a plus. You need to remember what is cos hyperbolic A plus B, what is sin hyperbolic A plus B. You need to use those formulas. Okay. Now I told you this is cos A, cos H of this one into cos H of J this one. Cos H of J this one becomes simply cos of this one. Actually, you go through it and find out. See, cos H Jx becomes cos X only. Sin H Jx becomes sin H only. Okay. So you can write down, substitute it here. And so you can get this one. Okay. Similarly, ZC sin H gamma L. It will be this one because gamma L is this one. So this is sin H gamma L. So sin H of this one into cos H of this one. Again, cos H of this one will become, J term will not be there, cos of this one. Cos H of this one, sin H of J.14 is equal to sin of 0.12. Okay, you need to go through this. Otherwise, if you just read, definitely you will do some mistakes in the exam. Similarly, B and D you can find out. And what they have told, ABCD constants, parameters you have found, verify the ascending end quantities. That means with ABCD constants you find out what is VS. Then you verify. VS is 86 angle 3.58. What you have got here? 86 into 3. Slight difference. Okay, slight difference will be there because always you are considering approximations. So please go through the long transmission lines up to this one. Okay, and try to solve this problem by your own and also other problems. Okay, is it okay for all of you?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so how many students are there? Only 10 students.